This is the Effing One Podcast with Adam and Luke.
As we talk everything Formula One motor racing.
G'day and welcome to Effing One Podcast, Australia's best and only Formula One podcast. And after the glitz and glamour of Monaco, a surprisingly uneventful race that saw Dan the Personality Ricciardo winning with no engine, no gears, and powered only by that big Aussie winning smile. Sebastian Fingerboy Vettel, he grabbed second place, and the master of whinging, Lewis Douche Canoe Hamilton, came in third. And it's now time to make F1 great again as we head over to Montreal, Canada. And to get the inside info on the land of the Maple Leaf, we need to turn to a man who was one of the greatest ice hockey players never to have played for the Canucks. Did I say that right?
Canucks.
The Canucks. I don't even know. I'm not sure about ice hockey, but you are. You're one of the greatest players never to have made. You must be devastated, but you take it well. He knows all the best spots for ice fishing, that's for damn sure, and loves nothing more than settling down in front of a big stack of pancakes with maple syrup. Bonjour, Luke. Comment ça va?
Ça va.
Love the Royal Canadian Mounted Police uniform that you're wearing, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Very smart.
It's hard to find this bear hat, but I've got it.
You got one. I don't know where you found it, but you did. And yes, in case you're wondering, this is a lumberjack outfit that I'm wearing, and I'm okay. I sleep all night and I work all day, as is the tradition here at Effing One Podcast.
Tradition.
It is. We have to. We have to wear the native costume of the featured race, and this is Canada, so it seems only fair. Now let's talk Montreal. Talk us through the. By the way. Good to see you, Luke. You look great.
Nice to see you, Adam. You smell magnificent.
Thank you. That's the way a man should smell, my friend. Slightly musky. Montreal, talk us through the circuit, big fella.
Do I smell cedarwood?
A little bit.
Very lumberjacky of you.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. So let's talk Montreal. Let's talk the circuit, the Gilles Villeneuve. It's a beautiful track on a nice bit of land in Montreal. There's 14 corners. Very Melbourne-esque.
It does look a bit like Melbourne.
Turns 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They're all pretty similar. But then what makes this unique is the hairpin, some long straights, followed by chicanes and some slow corners after those straights, which is different to Melbourne. So it makes it a great overtaking track into turns 10, which is the hairpin, also down to 13, 14. And at the start, you'll see a lot of guys going around the outside of turn 1 because then they'll have the inside to turn 2. It was won by Lewis Hamilton last year, followed by Valtteri Bottas, and Daniel Ricciardo came in third.
Daniel Ricciardo has won this before. That was his very first Grand Prix victory.
In 2014.
Sebastian Vettel's won this before. Off the top of your head, any other current drivers that
Lewis
have won?
Hamilton if he wins this year, he will break Michael Schumacher's
What's he won?
record.
5 times?
I think it's nearly 7.
What?
I think he's won at 6, but if he wins
you
at
kidding
7,
me?
no.
What's the why is
I know
he so,
you nearly choked.
I know.
That's how serious it was.
Why is he so good on this bloody track? What's going on?
He's
Just good at this track.
He's
Just
very
likes
good. Very good. He could have had more wins. He crashed with Jenson Button a few years ago in the rain. Jenson didn't see him, put him into the wall.
Yep. I think when Dan won, there was some issues with Hamilton's car from memory.
Yep, he had a KERS issue.
Yep.
Which Daniel managed to drive around and win the race.
That's what he does, mate.
And also, Lewis Hamilton smashed into the back of Raikkonen. I think it was in pit lane. Pit lane came out. There was a 2007 or 2008.
Yep.
There was a red light at the end of pit lane, and Kimi saw it. Kubica saw it. They both stopped. Lewis went straight in the back of Kimi, and then Rosberg went in the back of Hamilton, and then Kubica took off when the light went green.
Well,
Ended up winning the race as well.
What a shame that Kubica's not driving for Williams.
Kubica's only race win.
That.
And Jean Alesi said to him,
Wow.
I hope you don't end up like me, because Jean Alesi only won one
one
Grand Prix in Canada.
Yep. Any chance we'll see Kubica back at some stage?
I think we all hope so.
We hope so. I don't think it's really going to happen.
I can't see it happening unless there's some kind of
a change in policy?
under the table financial transaction between Kubica's people and Sirotkin or Lance Stroll's people.
And the problem is Williams has chosen cash over talent. So
they have.
When you go for Stroll, who brings, 80 million pounds or something ridiculous, and Kubica, who brings a dodgy arm and a whole lot of good soup.
A lot of Polish sausage as well. Don't forget the Polish
sausage and soup. Yep.
It's too spicy for them.
They can't handle the Brits. They can't handle a spicy sausage
at their parties.
or a soup. Nope.
Qualifying, it was pole position, Lewis Hamilton, Vettel second, Bottas third in qualifying last year. The tyres we have this weekend is the exact same as Monaco, so super soft, ultra soft, and hyper soft. And Pirelli saying it's going to be a good test for the hypersofts to see how they go.
Are they expecting the hypersoft to last longer or be better for this sort of track? Will it vary track to track?
They're not sure. It will vary, but all the specifications are still the same.
Because they were rubbish in Monaco. So obviously they're thinking they might perform quite well.
I think quali they were great, but I think a lot of teams will be trying to get through Q2 on the hypersofts to see if they can run a little bit longer. So if the top 10 can get through on the ultra softs, then they'll start the race with those tyres. But if they can't, they'll try and get through on hyper softs, and then they'll have to start on the hyper softs, which won't last as long. But this could be a two-stopper because this is a track you can overtake this weekend.
It's either a one-stop or a two-stop track, isn't it, this one?
Yeah. You could get more. Hopefully there's a bit of rain. I don't think it's been forecast.
That would spice it up a little bit, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
A bit of rain always spices
always
things up.
Good.
It's good to help someone like Dan as well, who'll be highly expected. We think expected to be taking a penalty grid because of the KERS.
Yes. So his KERS was pretty much
burnt out, wasn't
charred.
It?
So he will have a KERS-related penalty. He may have a control unit penalty. He may opt to take another engine, which he won't get a penalty because it'll be his third. But if I was Red Bull, I would put a third, then a fourth in to take an engine penalty, start at the back of the grid, then you've got a fresh engine.
Yep.
As long as Renault has brought their updated spec that they're intending to bring here.
Do you think next year they'll scrap the whole you've only got 3 engines bullshit?
I hope so. It's odd that,
it's
through
crap.
no fault of Ricciardo or Red Bull.
Or anyone, yeah.
If you're a customer, and I can understand if you're Ferrari or if you're Mercedes or Renault, that your engine stuffs up and it's your fault because you manufacture them.
Yeah.
But if you don't manufacture something and it's costing you possibly a championship or race wins, or then I think that it's unfair to sort of penalise a team for basically being a customer because they're not going to design an engine on their own. It would be the same if Force India or Haas had these issues, that they'd be penalised for something that's completely out of their control. Hopefully, and Ross Brawn said he wants to get rid of the engine penalties, maybe fine the teams or fine the manufacturers. But it's just unfair that you can. But they just don't want people just throwing new engines in every session.
Yeah,
which is understandable.
No, I get it.
But there needs to
But I mean, Luke, you and I talk about making Formula One great again. It's our motto. It's what we want to do. Here's a really easy one. Just give them more than 3 engines. There's an easy.
Give them more.
It's
Give
a no-brainer.
5.
Give them 5.
Give them 5.
I mean, people don't watch Formula One to go, oh, it's not called Let's See How Long This Engine Lasts Formula One Grand Prix. It's
they did throw that around for a bit.
Yeah.
Liberty, they're going, let's try that name.
Yep.
Didn't work.
No, after they
went back to F1.
Copyrighted the shoey, they went, now what else can we do to fuck this thing up? Let's call it watching F1 to see how long the engines last.
Yeah.
No.
Not quite catchy. Didn't roll off the tongue.
Not very catchy.
No.
Yeah, so I can't wait for the day that we go back to a bit of sensibility where we can have more than 3 engines. Then it's not so much a competition about who's got the shittest engine, but some decent, then we can just go flat chat. We can just go, let's go racing.
Yeah.
Let's go racing.
I think the only benefit to these kind of engine penalties is you might get a great drive from someone. So what Daniel did in Italy last year, where he came from the back of the grid and made his way up to 4th, this could be another one of those drives where he comes from way back, and he might, if he gets in the top 5, I think that'll be great for him.
Yep.
But he'll be starting a fair way back. There's 3 DRS zones this weekend. There's normally 2. The main back straight between 12 and 13 is the long DRS zone, and the other one on the main straight. But they've actually added one between turns 7 and 8. They've added a DRS zone.
So we could expect some more passing between 7 and 8, perhaps. So.
Could, but the thing is, 8 and 9 are it's quite a fast series of corners. So I think that's kind of like it turns 6, 7 in at Albert Park,
right?
The 8 and 9.
Yep.
But then that'll lead them a little bit closer when they go down to the hairpin, which is a good overtaking point. Most people won't overtake at turn 10 because then that person behind them will give them a long drag down that back straight.
Yep.
Going into turns 13, 14. So, yeah, it's going to be a good race. It always is in Montreal.
It's a fun race. It is a fun race. It's a pretty looking race. It's a lovely track.
Engine upgrades.
We're expecting a lot of teams to maybe freshen up with a brand new engine, maybe the Williams. I mean, they've been travelling for a few races now. Monaco, they probably just don't really need a great engine, so keep the first engine in that, and then teams that would change to a second engine, this would be the track.
There was the idea of it. Honda's and maybe Renault are bringing their upgrades for this weekend. Mercedes has said no. There's been some quality issues with the engines. So they had planned to bring it into Canada and make it the first one with a brand new engine. But with these quality issues that they've been having, they won't be using them. So this would be a great time for teams to upgrade, but the Mercedes teams will just have to wait until the next race.
Having said that, that Mercedes engine is still going to be better than most engines.
Oh, of course it will.
That's brand new.
Yeah,
I mean, that old engine is going to be fast.
It's pretty bulletproof. And so's the Ferrari. So I can't see.
Any idea how long one engine would go for if they just nursed it? Would it go halfway through the season?
I think it has a life of 10,000 kilometres, I think.
Yeah, right. What are we doing in a race?
You're doing 300 in a race.
300. So you could get a fair way through. Yeah. It's a few races.
It's a few races, but that's also practice sessions, qualifying.
Same engine.
And, those engines that can turn their engine up, that would actually eke into that life, so it won't be the 10,000 Ks because they've actually pulled it at full max. So, yeah, it's a 4.3K track. There's 70 laps of the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve, named after the great Canadian driver who used to drive Ferrari. Jacques Stad.
Jacques Stad.
Yeah. And
Jacques was good. He was a good racer.
Yeah, I think he was lucky.
He wasn't.
I don't know if many people agree with me. I know everyone thinks that Jacques all right. I think he got lucky at Williams when he came in. Yes, he won the Indy 500 his first go, but so did Montoya. And Montoya, I think, is a better driver than Jacques.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, I value you. Always have valued your opinion, Lucas. You know that. So
this track is hard on brakes.
Is it?
Very hard on brakes.
Well, there's a lot of straights or undulating turns, and there's a couple of really tight hairpins. 10. That is exceptionally tight.
Tight.
Very tight. 2. Incredibly tight. Is that where the damage is coming with the brakes? Is it constant?
Yeah, down into 10 and down into 13, 14. So there's a lot of big deceleration points. There's a long feeding between 1 and 2. They kind of feather the brakes to get turned in and then slowly feather it back on into the apex before getting on the gas out of turn 2.
It seems like a pretty fair, even kind of track for low downforce, and like the Red Bulls and Mercedes, they've all got something they can look forward to in this track, I think.
Yeah, I hope that Red Bull will obviously trim their downforce back a little bit more than the others because they don't have that engine grunt. But their chassis has good overall downforce from its floor.
Yep.
So they'll be fine. It'll be quite even, but the engines will be paramount. If Renault, I think Adrian Newey was saying it's a 1% difference, which might be a tenth of a second. So for an engine upgrade, it's not huge, but it's something. When you're probably getting done by 3 or 4 tenths in qualifying by the Ferraris and Mercedes, you may be getting done by 2 to 3 tenths. So it's much of a muchness.
It's not just Renault that's bringing the upgrade. I mean, they're all bringing an upgrade. Like Mercedes are bringing an upgrade.
Mercedes, no.
They're not this race.
No.
Ferrari,
I'm not sure. There's been no news on it. I'm guessing they would, being this time of the season. And Honda is definitely bringing one. And it's mainly for their internal combustion engine.
Well, that'll be good to see how the Renault engine goes. If it's that much quicker.
Yep. Yeah, so it'll either be, I think all Renault teams should take it if they've if they're happy with the reliability. I think they could push the engines a little bit further, but Renault's just holding the engines back because they're concerned about reliability.
Yeah. It's going to be fun. And you throw in a little bit of rain into that equation, it's going to be a spicy race. Hopefully, might see a bit of rain.
It'd be nice.
Wouldn't it?
There's big upgrades for chassis for Haas.
Yep.
Force India has a new front wing, and Renault said that they've fixed some high-speed understeer issues that they've had. So, yeah, there's big... normally, all the big upgrades happen in Spain, but Haas said since we're a small team, we're not really going to... We don't have the budget to react so quickly like the others, so we'll bring it in for Canada. So expect a new floor, new barge boards, and a few other little bits and pieces on the Haas to try and make themselves a little bit quicker.
Well.
Red Bull, last bit of news. Red Bull Racing.
I was going to say, we're now into news territory, aren't we? We are now in
elbow deep into
Formula
news.
One news.
Yeah. The last bit of news, Red Bull Racing is to decide their engines at the Austrian Grand Prix next month. So they will decide whether they're going to stay with Renault, which Renault will begrudgingly give it to them, or they'll go to Honda and pair up with the Toro Rossos.
It's crunch time for Red Bull.
And this decision will be an impact of what Daniel Ricciardo chooses for next year.
And then that has a flow-on effect to a lot of other driving spots through the field once Dan decides what's happening. And Hamilton, because I think Niki Lauda has said that Dan's just waiting for Hamilton to make a decision, and he's kind of holding Red Bull to ransom or blackmailing them, which I think is a bit unfair. But that's going to, we'll find out where the cards fall from there. So it's going to be interesting. So you think Dan is going to be waiting to see what Red Bull is choosing for the engine next year before he makes a decision?
So
or is he already with Ferrari? Do you think he's already going to Ferrari?
No.
He's waiting for this decision for Red Bull.
Yeah, I base this on... because Honda's bringing their new engine here, so see how that engine goes for the next few races before he makes his decision. If Honda does good and Red Bull go with Honda, then he'll have a good engine in a good car, and that's guaranteed. Ferrari's going to be a good team. Mercedes aren't the best team at the moment. Ferrari are clearly the best team, so it's either going to be Ferrari or Red Bull. I don't think he'll want to go to Mercedes. Lewis Hamilton came out this week saying, well, Ricciardo's really kind of out of options. He's trying to sort of bluff it. No, Bottas is with us.
Right.
And Raikkonen's not going anywhere. So he's just trying to go, you should just stay at Red Bull. Stay at Red Bull. Stay away from me.
He would like that. He would definitely
would.
He doesn't want to have him as a teammate.
No.
Nobody does. And Sebastian obviously wants Raikkonen and doesn't want Dan to be a teammate either.
Correct. I would like something to be different. I hope that Mercedes...
I think so. Mix it up.
I hope that Ferrari go out on a limb. I hope Ferrari go, let's put Leclerc in the car straight away.
Yeah.
After 1 year, bang him in there. They've never done this before.
Spice it up a bit.
And I hope Mercedes go, let's go with Hülkenberg.
Yeah.
I've said that a few times.
I can't see it, but
I think
get it.
It depends how good the Renault's going to be.
Well, we know that Bottas won't win a race because he doesn't know how to he can't overtake. And we know that Raikkonen won't win a race because of team orders. I'd love to see Dan kick Sebastian's butt again. That'd be good.
Yeah, but I want him to change the script. I want to see him go against the douche canoe.
Yeah.
I want to see that pout.
Good point.
I want to see that, I can't win anymore.
Yeah.
Daniel's too fast.
Yeah. And I just want to see Hamilton whinge more than he already does.
Oh, that'd be great.
Because already his whinge levels are off the Richter scale. They're like 9.9. He's
off the Whinger scale.
Off the Whinger scale. We should have a little, can we have some sort of contraption? We'll have to ask producer Pete because he's quite handsy. He knows how to fix stuff and build stuff.
He does.
Maybe he can make up some sort of whinge monitor, a winjometer.
Winjometer.
Yeah, the douche canoe winjometer.
Ding, 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 ding. Oh.
Yeah, it's all. He goes, he's off the rig. Yep, he's up. It's up to 10. He's currently at 10, and he's coming down. He's calmed down a bit.
Calm down.
Yeah. Oh no, there he goes.
Let's hope he's got something to whinge about this weekend.
We'll get onto that. Pete, is that a possibility, producer Pete? The winjometer?
It's a possibility for Lewis Hamilton.
Yes, for douche canoe.
That's a big meter.
Yep.
It's a big load of douchedom.
Let me have a think.
Can we meter that?
Oh, well, you heard it there first.
Yep.
Effing One Podcast fans.
Thanks, Pete.
Producer Pete is onto it. The douche canoe winjometer. Fantastic. So, yeah.
We're always just constantly making F1 great again.
That's what we do. It's in our blood. It's in our blood.
So now that's the news. Let's go on
The
with...
news. Now we've got predictions. Lucas, for
Get out my
this-
trusty pen.
because just recapping very quickly, we have an ongoing competition between yourself and I. And we were neck and neck before Monaco, and I jumped out to a little 4-point lead after
did.
Monaco.
You did.
Yes, I did.
Let's move on to Canada.
Okay.
I'm
Got
4
your little
points
list?
down.
All right, run through them
Mercedes.
and let's fire this off quickly. Well, we know that Raikkonen's not allowed to win. So
Okay,
I'm
we'll
gonna
go
have
with
to-
Ferrari. I said Mercedes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking Red Bull. I
You
was
were.
thinking Ferrari. What are we doing first?
Mercedes.
Ah.
Hamilton
Well,
or
it's got to be
Bottas?
Hamilton. Hamilton to outqualify and to win.
You're going, okay, DC for douche canoe
Yeah.
and Ferrari.
Sebastian. Because Raikkonen's not allowed to.
He's not allowed.
He's not allowed to ever win.
I'm going to go with the same because I'm scared
Yes, you
of
are.
losing more points.
Yeah, you are. Red Bull, Verstappen to out-qualify. This is after the grid penalty or
This is before.
before grid
So
penalty?
who's going to qualify higher before he gets his grid penalty?
Dan's going to out-qualify, but Verstappen will beat him in the race.
Okay,
'Cause
and
it's for
I
the
will
grid
go with... I'm
You traitor.
going to go both Dan.
Oh, get out of town. I like it.
He's going to get him or Verstappen's going to crash.
Good point. I didn't think
I
about
put
that.
no, you can't change
Well,
now.
he's made
It's
a
in
mistake.
ink.
He's crashing every single race so far, Luke.
He's-
So that's common sense. You've nailed it.
He's just wasting parts.
Yeah.
Renault.
Hulk.
The Hulk.
Hulkenberg. Yep. He's too good.
He is good.
Way too good.
I'm going to go with Sainz in qualifying and Hulk
Oh.
in the race.
Okay.
McLaren.
That's a given. Alonso. Yeah. Van Goon. Is he still driving for them? I don't even know. Does he?
I don't know.
There's some other kids in there now.
They could put anyone in that car. They
Yeah.
wouldn't know.
Put Stroll in there.
Oh,
Wouldn't even
God.
matter.
The Toro Rosso.
The gas man for me.
Last
Oh
race,
no,
Hartley.
actually, you know what? No, I just felt something come on. A little change in the wind,
I
Luke.
can see it.
Yeah, no,
Just
sorry, that was
popped up.
I accidentally knocked you with my hand. That is very soft. Are you moisturising again?
Never moisturised.
Hartley, something's going to happen, and Hartley is going to out-qualify and outperform.
Wow.
I know, but the pressure's on for him.
I was going to say that, but since you've gone Hartley, I'm going to go the Gas Man. Shout out to the Gas Man.
Oh, we love a gas man.
Williams.
Oh, geez, paid driver or the other paid driver.
Paid driver squared.
I'll go the Rusky, because he did do quite well last race, and I think I just don't rate Stroll. I think Stroll would lose to anyone. And speaking of Winjometer,
I'm going Stroll.
Stroll's got a Winjometer.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just whinging in that car constantly.
Yeah. Maybe it could be like a powder-meter on Lewis and then a Winger-meter on Stroll.
Good call.
Mm.
And this
It's
is
going to be a powder-meter, Pete.
well, we need two.
Yeah,
We
so a
need-
powder meter, and you can stick with the Winger meter, but we
Yeah.
can use that for Lance Stroll.
Yeah, we've got a Winjometer and a Powtometer.
Yeah, so I think Lance Stroll, he's
It's
Canadian, it's his home
Grand
race,
Prix,
so I think he'll do better than Sergei Sorokin.
Okay.
Hopefully get some points back. Force India,
Hmm.
Pepe Le Pew, or the Tijuana Tussler.
I always go the Tijuana Tussler. I'm going to
It's a
stick with
safe
it.
bet.
Yeah, it is. It's a much safer bet. Lock it
Sergio
in.
Perez, and I like Esteban.
Yeah,
'Cause he thinks-
he's a talent.
He thinks effing one's for everyone.
Yep. Very friendly.
Haas, the Haas holes.
Stay at home, or oh no,
Magnussen
Magna. I
and
get the. I
Grosjean
get
on.
the. I
They're
get.
very close.
I get
very
the Sweden and the Denmark thing mixed
Yeah.
up all the time.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'll go Grosjean.
Grosjean.
Yeah, he's got to come good eventually.
Is he going to score some points?
Maybe. No, there's no way that's going to happen.
I'm going to go Magnussen
Yep.
because I just don't want Grosjean to score any points, even with the
Fair
new
enough.
Haas. Sauber, Leclerc's, and your stay-at-home Viking.
Leclerc.
Leclerc.
He's a talent.
I don't know if I could do your...
Do
it!
it.
The stay-at-home Viking!
You're doing it. Just make it more.
Brush these Doritos off me.
Yes, you got
I'm
it.
going to win a race.
That's
He's not going to
good.
win the race, but he's going to beat Leclerc.
That is a really good stay-at-home Viking, dude.
I hurt my throat.
Man, I think you own that now. That's yours.
No.
The Stay at Home Viking voice is yours now.
It's always yours.
I'm never doing it again. You're good.
Leclerc
But make it
for the
more.
win.
I am the stay. Yeah.
This is why it's yours. I can't. I can do Brendan Hartley, and that's about it.
You nailed Brendan Hartley. You bloody nailed that.
And he won't have a job by after the Austrian Grand Prix, and then I'll be screwed. Unless they get another Kiwi.
Yeah.
Scott Dixon, that's the only one I can do. That's predictions.
That's predictions. Good luck, Lucas.
So
May the
I'll
best
be ahead
man...
by 2 points at the end of that.
Really? Big call, my friend.
Big call.
Big call. Now it's time for, on the Effing One podcast, Effing...
What?
Which...
Effing what?
Should we explain effing what?
You can explain effing what.
It's one of those unusual things that you wouldn't expect. Something that makes you go, what the blazes? You tell me what? Effing what? So Lucas comes up with some unusual facts and figures. It's going to blow our mind. What's going to blow our mind this week, Lucas?
So this week, I'm going to blow your mind with some downforce.
Oh, yes, please.
So there's the old talk that F1 cars can drive upside down because the amount of downforce that they push causes the cars to stick to anything.
Mm-hmm.
And this is true as long as all the oil and fuel and everything that lubricates the engine can run upside down as well. So that's not an issue. So what it is downforce. How much downforce does a Formula One car create? Now, last year in 2014, at a speed of 340 kilometers, Formula One car was generating 3,000 kilos of downforce.
Holy hell.
So Formula One car is 734 kilos this year, minimum. So that has close to, or just over 4 times the downforce.
To relate that to, say, the family car that we drive around in, which is
like
a
1,200 kilos.
Over a ton?
Yeah.
So a couple of those.
Yeah.
A couple of cars.
Yeah. So most of those cars can't do 340 clicks. But yeah, they can be engineered up to 5,000 kilos of downforce. They'd have a lot of drag, but the cars can do that kind of, the downforce levels that they're coming out with. So downforce is actually, it's a thrust created by aerodynamic characteristics of a car. This allows the car to travel faster through corners by increasing the vertical forces on the tyres and creating more grip. Now, on an aircraft, wings, an F1 car, you basically turn it upside down, creates lift. So you have a low pressure system underneath that pushes the wing up.
Right.
In an F1 car, you basically just flip it down the opposite way.
Yep.
So it creates drag.
Yep.
And by drag, pushes the car down the tyres further onto the ground and creates more grip as they go through corners. In a straight, they don't want as much downforce because that creates drag. So if you look at the front wings, say, they have elements which is kind of like fingers, and you see them at high speed, they'll kind of flatten out and move. But when they brake, they come back and bend up forward. So they're not allowed to bend, technically. They have load pressures that they'll put on, so they'll put 200 kilos on the front wing.
Wow.
And if it bends, it's illegal. But the thing is they're pushing so much air on it when they're at full speed, they'll just start to flatten out.
Whoa.
So it creates less drag. And it makes it move smoother through the air at top speed.
And are they, when they are coming up with the design of a car, are they doing modelling first on a program, and then they take that to a wind tunnel or like a water tunnel?
Yeah. So they'll start on a computer and they'll use what they call CFD, which is computational fluid dynamics. So it's basically like a wind tunnel on your computer. And then they'll design these things.
And you can adjust it and you can see the reaction to every little move that you make.
Yeah.
To
So
each
instead
movement.
of engineering something, manufacturing something and putting it on, they can do it all digitally to see how it goes. And if it works, then they'll put it on a rolling wind tunnel and to see that what matches up from the design and the CFD, see if that matches what they're getting in the wind tunnel. And then it gets ticked off because it's generally the wind tunnels aren't full size. They're generally like a 30% or a 50% wind tunnel. So they have to make a full size. If it's ticked off by development and by the managers going, yep, if it's going to give us a 1/10 of a second, tick.
Wow.
That's what we're going to do.
And is there like a team of aerodynamic PhD people in there?
Some teams have wind tunnels running 24 hours a day.
So they're constantly looking
constantly
at little
testing.
changes, and
Yep.
for each racetrack, they'll have a brand new aerodynamic package adjustments for the
You'll
car,
see
specifically for that race.
Yep. So you'll see Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull bringing new parts to every single track. Every team will do it to some extent. You won't see a full new car. It'll just be, a new side of a barge board for one team.
Right.
But in Red Bull, could be a new rear wing. It could be a new front wing. It could be a new end plate. So the end plate's on the end of the front wing. So these things they'll design per track. So in Monaco, they'll need more downforce. In this track, they'll need less downforce, less drag. So they go through better on these long straights. So the amount of downforce they put down, as I said, 3,000 kilos of downforce.
Incredible.
So technically, you could, and one of the engineers said to me, at upside down at 120 miles an hour, which is 192 kilometers an hour,
Yep.
that's the speed they need to go. And that's a pretty easy speed for an F1 car to accomplish. So that they can go up on a tunnel, go up to the side of the tunnel, and then start going upside down over the tunnel.
At that speed.
So not even 200 k's an hour.
They could be inverted on top of a tunnel.
They could be upside down. As long
Upside
as
down in a tunnel.
there's nothing in the way.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
At what speed can they sustain
192.
that? 192. Anything over 192.
Yep.
That's incredible. Now, there's an idea for the future of Formula One. Can we have tracks that are inverted where you have to go upside down?
That'd be
cool.
overtaking maneuver, wouldn't it?
Overtaking moves. Oh, you could not. If you're running out of room on the road, you just go up the walls and over.
Yeah.
There's the future right there.
Yeah.
Hey.
So Gary Anderson, he said the downforce on cars don't care if the ground is above or below. So it just goes on wherever it's pushing itself up or down to. So it's like with street circuits like Monaco, if they have manhole covers, if they're not welded down like they used to do on the streets of surface, the cars, when they go over them, those, like they're 25, 30 kilo manhole covers will flip into the air because the suction, the pressure at the floor of the cars will actually flick them up in the air. So that's F1 produces that much downforce.
And does altitude have a factor in downforce? So if you're at a higher circuit, you need more downforce to have the same effect.
Yeah.
Wow. There's a whole team of aerodynamicists in each of the garages, and they're constantly trying to find an aerodynamics advantage.
And also with the aerodynamics, it's not just downforce, but also, the front wing pushes air into the airbox, pushes air into the side pods, which feeds the radiator, the oil radiator.
Cooling it down
Yep.
as a
So
function.
when you have high altitude, there's less air, so they need to make sure that these openings are a little bit bigger. They'll add little slots to the top of the side pods just to increase the cooling of these cars. So aerodynamics aren't just putting the car to the track, but it's also about cooling the car, getting the airflow over the car so it runs over as smoothly as possible. And that's my effing what,
Shall we end with a effing
what? And what you can do at home is if you're driving, pop your hand out the window. Point your fingers down, you'll feel your hand get pushed down. Point your fingers up, it will start to push up a little bit. Now, if you want to get technical, put your hand out the side, split your fingers, and then you'll feel that there's less drag. And then you move it up and you move it down. That's what's happening to the front wing elements that have so many elements to it. That's what it's like. So you can get your own little downforce, test in a car.
A little at-home do-it-yourself aerodynamics lesson from Lucas.
Yeah.
That is effing what?
Effing
Fantastic. And now, after that, you've blown my mind, Luke. I'm going to be honest with you. So I'm not sure if I can keep this together, but it's time for At Home with Kimi. We held that note quite nicely.
You did. I kind of faked it.
You hid behind my note.
I did.
It's time to see what Kimi's up to. One of many very popular segments in the Effing One podcast is, what is Kimi Räikkönen doing right now at this very moment? Because he is a lovable larrikin, loves the vodka, loves to swear, loves that high-pitched voice, and he's always getting into mischief. So what have we got? Do we have something from one of our Effing One podcast Twitter followers. Have they got a suggestion? Who is that?
That's Chris92.
Chris92. And
Chris92 has come up with what's it like for Kimi Räikkönen to fill up at the Shell fuel station?
Oh, the Shell fuel station, a sponsor of used to be or Formula of Ferrari, or still is.
Still is.
Still is.
Still is.
So let's check out what Kimi Räikkönen is doing right now at the Shell petrol station, shall we? All right.
Wah! Hey, where's my petrol cap? Damn it! I put the petrol cap right here, on the back of the car. Ah, crap. Okay, that's okay. I'll go get some Krispy Kremes. It'll make me feel better. Okay. Oh, what? Crap! Oh, crap! No Krispy Kremes? Oh, Jesus. That's okay, I'll just have to drive up. What? Where's my steering wheel? Oh, come on, guys! Where's my steering wheel? Oh, Jesus!
And that was At Home with Kimi. Feel like
Kimi's such an angry man.
I think he's been in the vodka again.
I've done that. I've driven away from a petrol station without a petrol cap.
Me too.
And then gone around a roundabout and smelt fuel coming out the side of the
Do you go
car.
back, or it's like a walk of shame?
I went to another petrol station, just bought a replacement cap.
Because when you go back, you look silly because you park the car and you're looking
I don't know
around.
if it fell off.
You don't
if
know.
It's somewhere along the road. But yeah.
And you don't want to stop traffic to retrieve a petrol cap. Sorry, guys, I'm just going to grab this because I'm an idiot.
Don't mind
and
me.
I don't know how to refuel my car properly. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Carry on.
Yeah.
No, good call.
Keep
driving.
I can understand it, Kimi. I can understand. But he was quite angry.
Yeah. And I think he was disappointed those Krispy Kremes weren't there. That really set him off, not having Krispy Kremes.
It would set me off.
Yeah, me too. They're a tasty treat when you're feeling down and out.
I think we need a sponsor. Like a Krispy Kreme or a Donut King or a Dunkin' Donut. If anyone wants to get on board,
Because, well, we could just
we can attach it to Mum's great spread.
and it could be like a subliminal advertising. We didn't have to mention it. We'd just go, look, I'm so peckish. Pass me one of those delicious Krispy Kremes. And you know what I mean?
You wouldn't know.
You would. It's like advertising interwoven in a podcast that you'd never even know.
Seamless.
It's advertising. Seamless. You know what I fancy right now, Lucas? No? What's that, Adam? A Krispy Kreme. So icy and delicious.
Goes down a treat.
Down into my belly. Okay.
I think we should get something from Doritos. We've mentioned them on nearly every podcast.
Yeah.
Thanks to the Stay-at-Home Viking.
Yeah. So Doritos, if you're listening, Mr. Doritos
Hit
from
us up.
Doritoville, let us know.
Doritoville, California.
Or even just give us a free packet of chips. We'll settle for that.
That's all we want.
That's what we want.
Free chips.
Now, our mission, Luke, has always been...
I thought you said Amish.
Amish?
Amish and Luke.
Amish, they're not huge F1 fans, the Amish. It's a shame. They have their own version, and it's very slow.
It's just a horse and car.
And there's not a great deal of aerodynamics involved.
There's more hay bales.
A lot of hay, a lot of poop.
And that's not from the horses.
Hey, English.
Ah, call me Ishmael.
English. I'm taking the corner really fast. The best way that we could make Formula One great again is thanks to our Effing One podcast listeners, we put our very best suggestions forward, didn't we? In a knockout competition of how to make Formula One great again. Now, the winning suggestion, which we put down to the Effing One podcast and people voted for it, is going to get sent. Well, it did get sent to the new owners of Formula One.
Hand-delivered.
Hand-delivered in a briefcase, vacuum sealed, and it went
I'm sure there was a reason for the
getting-
vacuum sealing.
I don't know why it's vacuum sealed. Just I'd lock
You
in
vacuum seal everything, don't you?
I know it's a bit overboard, really. But I got it cheaply on eBay, so I think I might as well use it.
Use it. Yeah.
Liberty Media in the United States are the owners of Formula One, so we thought we would hand deliver it. Suggestions. We saw some absolute crackers, Luke. We had some fantastic suggestions. For example, drivers doing pit stops and not being able to leave until they correctly answer a quiz question.
That's a great one.
That was really good. Drivers qualified for each race depending on how well they could reverse park. A crappy Kia or a Mazda.
No, a Formula One car.
Oh, a Formula One car.
Yep.
My bad.
You know how difficult it is to reverse park one of those?
It's really hard.
Can't look over your shoulder.
No, vision's impaired with that halo. It's just impossible now. Then there was the shopping bag challenge where drivers qualified with shopping bags full of breakable household goods attached to the outside of the car. This was awesome. And you get a time penalty if there was any breakages of eggs or other valuables in
Like
it.
globes.
Like globes, another great one. But in the end, the winning suggestion by the Effing One Podcast listeners was eating the native dish of the host country while qualifying. So very tricky when you're qualifying in China with hot dumpling soup. Scorching hot. You've got to finish that on that qualification lap. Meat pie in Australia.
Yep.
Boiling hot, scorching. That's the only way to eat an Australian meat pie.
Yeah.
Bloody hot.
Yep.
So you
With sauce.
With sauce. Yep. So last week, we placed the winning suggestion into a vacuum-sealed envelope, into a leather briefcase. We dressed up in our matching suits, and
We looked adorable.
we looked like a couple of weird Mormons.
Like twins.
Like twinsies.
Yeah.
And
More like the Arnold Schwarzenegger, Danny DeVito twins.
very much. I was like Danny DeVito. You're like Schwarzenegger. And we were dressed up in our matching hats, suit and tie, wearing with our beautiful hats. We had the flip-down reality attachment,
So real.
which makes... Because what's better than virtual reality, Luke?
Reality, Adam.
Thank you, mate. It's great for the kids. Kids don't realise this, but going outside, putting your reality goggles on is much better than sitting in front of a computer.
Please know that buses are real.
Yes, but watch out, kids. That bus is a real bus.
Real bus.
Yep, that will actually kill you. So we jumped on board the Qantas Flight 712 to the States. We went in search of Formula One headquarters, Liberty Media, and Luke, how did we go? Well, I think we have a recording, don't we?
We can't say exactly where it was because it's top secret, kind of like Area 51.
Very much.
But we jumped the fence and we have a recording of our little entry into Liberty Media's compound.
Yep, I think you'll be impressed. Here it is, us approaching Liberty Media with a winning suggestion to make Formula One great again. Hit it, Luke.
Okay, Luke, this is it. We're here.
We're here. We've jumped the fence and into the compound.
Liberty Media. Wow, it's been a long trip.
It's impressive.
It's massive. Look at the size of this. I'm so nervous. Okay, how do we look? Let's do a quick little check first.
You look great.
Thanks, mate. You got a hat. Hat's don't wait, a bit crooked. Let me just move that. There we go. Your tie.
How's my reality glasses?
Amazing. Flip down glog. Oh, hang on, wait. There we go. Look perfect.
So real.
So real. Everything looks so real with these reality glasses. All right, let's do it. Let's go to the door.
to the door.
I'm so bloody nervous. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right, who's going to talk first? You or me? So I
I'll
knock,
talk.
you talk?
I'll talk.
You talk. Right, okay.
You know.
All right, okay. I'm so nervous. Here we go. Liberty Media, knocking on the front door.
Hola?
Oh, hi.
Hola, señores.
Hi.
We're here to see Mr. Carey, Chase Carey.
Mr. Kerry not here, señores. Mr. Kerry not here.
Oh, that's a shame.
No.
Juanita, it's okay, Juanita. I got it. You go back and get my towel. Get my little towel for later on.
Sí, señores.
All right, thank you, Juanita. What you boys want?
Mr. Carey, thanks for
I want some
coming
of my
out and-
stories, boys.
We've just got a briefcase here of F1's great ideas, just to make F1 great again. If you'd like to invite us in.
It's really great, sir. You'll love it. It's got it's vacuum sealed. It's in a briefcase.
Yeah.
All our listeners on the podcast have come up with this idea, and we think you're going to really love it.
What are you talking about, boy?
We want to make F1 great again, so we've got this idea because things
Boy.
are like. Yep. Sorry, sir.
You get off my lawn, boy, right now.
I'm just actually overwhelmed by your moustache.
My mustache got nothing to do with it. My mustache don't like you on my property right now. I want you boys to get off. Right now. Juanita,
Sorry, sir.
get my gun.
Oh gosh.
You want your shotgun?
Yeah, get my shotgun, Juanita.
Oh jeez.
We'll just leave the briefcase here and
No, don't you? You look like some kind of ISIS. What are you, some sort of ISIS? Mormons? Yeah, you take the briefcase with you, you faggot.
we'll take it with us.
Take,
Thanks
you
very
little
much.
faggot. You get off my lawn right now.
All right, sorry.
Sorry,
Mr.
sir.
Carey.
Sorry. We'll catch you later. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time, Liberty Media. Well, that didn't.
Not go
that
very
did
well
not go-
at all.
That's not exactly what we expected. Oh dear. Shall we?
To the airport.
Yep. Shall we get some donuts?
Love some.
Okay.
So that was our little jaunt over to Liberty Media. It turned out fruitless.
I thought it was quite successful.
I think the trip that we did, I think the delivering of our message was poor.
But the donuts were delicious.
They were really good.
Those you can't beat airport donuts.
No. I think that Juanita was giving you the eyes.
She, let's just say, I think she fancied. I think she fancied us.
Yeah, I think she fancied you.
I think it was the goggles, the flip down reality
She was
goggles.
waving his towel at you.
Yeah, I saw that. I wonder what that towel was used. It was very small.
Very small.
Must have been concealing something tiny. It did have a spectacular mustache, though. What a mustache! So, suffice to say, didn't quite go as well as we planned.
No.
But
You know what? We're going to try again. I don't know when, but we're going to try again.
damn right we are, Luke.
This is not over.
This
We're going to get our message out there. We're going to get these ideas into F1.
we are not going to take no from a grumpy mustache. It's
No.
going to take more than one mustache to keep us down, bro.
I'm going to hit up Ross Brawn. I'm going to hit up Sean Bratches. And I'm going to, hey, Chase Carey isn't the be-all and end-all.
There's more ways to shave this mustache.
That's right.
We're going to find another
Even
way.
if we have to hold him down and shave that thing
Force it
off.
on him. We're going to force feed some great ideas.
Maybe we just say it's for a charity, some kind of charity that he has to shave his mustache off.
Maybe, yeah.
And
maybe,
then go, no.
No,
No.
yeah, and maybe we can get into Anita. Maybe we could get her, not literally get into it, but maybe we can get her to drop some hints at the dinner table when she's serving mustache.
Ah, like-
You know, hey, senor, you think you might give these guys another chance? Some good idea.
Maybe she just comes up, like we just give the envelope to Juanita and
Yeah.
she'll wear some kind of audio recording device that she can give it to Chase and see if he'll sit down and actually read it and have nothing to do with us.
Yeah, if he thinks it's
We might have to get
his
back to that
idea.
compound.
Oh, you had a great idea when you were drunk last night, senor. I wrote it down for you. And maybe he thinks it's his ideas. He might do something about it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, this doesn't end here.
This does not end
Effing
here,
One Podcast.
listeners.
No. We will make Formula One great again, and our suggestions will not be muted. We will stand up and make Formula One great
They
again.
will listen to us.
Eventually, hopefully. Or they might just ignore us again.
5 years later, they listen to us.
Yes, that's our idea, damn it. And he's claiming victory.
Look at that pinata.
That's the race is getting boring, and he's smacking that pinata. And now it's getting exciting. Well, Montreal is the next race. It is going to be fun, and we can't wait for it. Hopefully, we'll have a lot more exciting racing and overtaking and maybe a bit of rain.
Got some late nights coming up.
Yeah, we
Being
have.
in Montreal, a 4 o'clock race start, AM, Monday
jeez.
morning.
Oh, jeez.
Good luck, chum.
Well, okay for some, not for me.
Oh, it's perfectly fine for me.
You'll be fine. You'll be here. You'll be watching it. Nothing stops it. Not even.
I'll just be a little bit late to the Centrelink front line.
You'll enjoy it. Just text me. Well, okay, let's wrap it up. Love it. It's been fun, Luke. Oh, by the way, Luke's mum. What has she made? What a smorgasbord.
That's a cinnamon tea cake.
It
Adam?
is a cinnamon tea cake.
Mum has done a phenomenal job swinging on by and dishing up a cinnamon tea cake.
Is that a traditional Canadian
Yeah,
tea
so
cake?
what you do is like poutine, you just drizzle the gravy and cheese over the top of the cinnamon tea cake, and it's like a poutine cinnamon tea cake.
Yum.
It's odd, but she knew that you would like it.
What's the drizzle? What's in the sauce? What's the drizzle sauce?
Oh, it's gravy.
What? Like
It's gravy and cheese. That's poutine.
wow. So it's like a sweet, but it's also a main course.
Yep, they put it on chips over there.
Yum.
But Mum's chucked it on the cake. She didn't have any chips.
Mrs. Luke, you've
Couldn't
done
find
it
any
again.
potatoes.
You've done it again. Oh, and what's that? Is that what I think it is? Is that a beaver? Is that a half-cooked
Mum
beaver?
left a beaver
A
here.
stuffed beaver? Did your mum leave a beaver here?
Yes.
It looks delicious.
Yes.
It's got a stuffing in it, some sort of weird stuffing. We'll try that later.
Probably lamb.
Yes.
If it's for you, it's lamb.
It's lamb disguised as a beaver. Ah, the
Sorry, Mum.
perfect meal. So get hold of us with comments. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. Just say g'day. Effing One Podcast Twitter page. Thanks, Luke. Can't wait for Montreal.
Thank you, Adam.